Welcome back. The IT capital of the country, Bengaluru, witnessed a massive traffic jam on Wednesday evening on the outer ring road due to bandh called by over 2,000 pro-Kannada groups. This was in protest against the releasing of the Kaveri river water to the state of Tamil Nadu. Now, many were stuck in traffic for over 4 hours. The traffic police statement called the situation along the outer ring road, which was between the Silk Road junction and KR Puram, the tech circle, as unprecedented, saying that the vehicle count shot up to about 3.5 lakh. The police also say that several employees in the city tried to exit at the same time as public transportation saw a complete shutdown and in fact the traffic breakdown situation. Now, a statewide bandh has been called tomorrow where the common person in the urban centres across the state will feel the brunt of it. Businesses will be affected. Voices from the BJP camp and prominent citizens of the city have rained in fire on the Congress government for failing to allow IT capital to run smoothly and not doing their job properly. And of course, there are lakhs of city dwellers in Bengaluru who are affected by it. Once again, as politics paralyzes Bengaluru, it's the common person suffering. And if you were one of them who was suffering in that mad traffic jam, our lines are open right now. You can call us here on Viewpoint. Share with us what you felt and what are your thoughts for the city of Bengaluru. We had some experts on our show throughout the day and some of them argued that perhaps we'll beat the record and perhaps Bengaluru would be the slowest city in terms of the pace of traffic in the entire world if proper steps are not taken. Let's take this to our guests as well who are joining us on the broadcast. We'll take that story, but first up, the story so far, the voices that have come in and of course the bandh that has been once again called in across the state. Well, joining us on the broadcast is GS Prasad, the spokesperson of Karnataka BJP. Nagaraj Yadav from the Congress Party will be with us in just few minutes from now. Shrikant Narasimhan, who's the founder of Bengaluru Nava Nirmana Party, is also joining us on the show. And more importantly, viewers, it's a call out to all of you. Our phone lines are open 0120-640-3751. That's the number on your screen. Dial us, tell us what you think. And if you're one of the Bangaloreans who was stuck in that traffic, how exactly you think your city can be fixed, we'd be eager to hear from all of you. Mr. Prasad, first a question to you. The collapse of urban infrastructure in the city of Bengaluru is not new, whether it's the potholes, whether it's other urban issues in the city. We have spoken about this issue multiple times. However, what was witnessed yesterday was unprecedented, quote unquote, even by the version of the traffic police authorities. In your understanding, what went wrong?
So, Anisha, firstly, we have to understand how precariously Bangalore is placed in terms of the traffic conditions. Because if you look at how Bangalore has grown in the last 20 years, the population of Bangalore in the year 2000 was about 60 lakhs. And now it's about 1.5 crores. And the number of vehicles in Bangalore in 2000 and 2010 and compared to now, it is increased by more than 1,000%. So the city has grown exponentially compared to any other city in the world, but we have not kept up pace with the public works and the public transportation. So, and the public transportation, once it is in place and the last mile connectivity, lot of O's would come down because people would start taking the public transport. And here, in the present ruling dispensation, if you look at the last 25 years, Congress has been in power for more than 16 or 17 years in that. And in the initial phases of the IT boom, from the late 90s to the mid 2000s, Congress was in power. And even the revised master plan 2015 or such of those things which had to be implemented have not been implemented properly. So therefore, a lot of responsibility will lie on the governments which were there, including to a certain extent Bharatiya Janata Party. I am not shying away from that because we have been in power for about 8 years.
No, I'm glad you're saying
years.
that. Yeah.
But see, we have never not admitted facts. We are admitting facts, but we were in power for 8 years of the 25 years. Congress has been in power for about 16, 17 years. So therefore, and in the present, especially last 3-4 months, they knew what's happening. and the entire development has come to a standstill because the DCM of Karnataka is on record to say that no development activities will take
Yes,
place now
yes,
because they are busy funding the guarantees.
yes.
If that is the situation, it is difficult to implement brand Bangalore. On one hand, you want brand Bangalore, but you're not
I think that's a
devoting
fair
time,
point. I think
energy,
that's a
and
fair point you're
efforts for
making.
that.
I think that's a fair point you're making. Mr. Nagaraju Yadav, I'm not saying that the urban mayhem in our country is purely the problem of the Congress party. I believe we have lost the connection with the Congress party. We'll go back to them. Why don't I bring in Mr. Shrikant Narasimhan into the discussion? Mr. Narasimhan, when we get the Congress party, because they are the ruling party in the state right now, we'll ask them the questions that deserve to be asked. What have they done so far? Where are the development funds? And when will the city dwellers, when will the IT capital of this country will really get its due? That's the most important thing. But do you think this issue requires something which is a political approach to the problem, a policy-driven approach? This bickering between the Congress and the BJP wouldn't really help. A quick point from you, then I'll take some callers as well.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on the show. So I would say it's very much a political issue. Policy is politics. Yeah. Policy cannot be diverse from politics because ultimately it's the political parties and the parties in power that frame policy.
Sure.
Mr. Prashant just talked about two key issues, right? The quality of the public transport infrastructure as well as the quality of the drains in the city. And these are perennial problems that have been going on for many, many years. I'm glad that he acknowledged that even BJP has sort of failed to do anything on that front. More than first asking what the current Congress government done, I want to bring into focus two key issues here. One, around the same time, rain come in and the roads got flooded. Yesterday there was a small bout of rain.
Mr. Narasimhan, your audio is breaking. We'll just fix that audio. Let me quickly take two callers till then. Mr. M. Kumar from Bengaluru is with us on the broadcast. Mr. Kumar, tell us what you think. Were you stuck in that traffic?
Yes, I have made 5 years back, I have made an analysis of what the problems are in Bangalore because I've lived in other cities also. Though this is a common problem across India, in Bangalore there are some unique problems, unique nuisances about which nobody has bothered to examine, nobody even knows about it. The most important being, it has the highest number of speed breakers in the world, not just in India. It can get into Guinness Book of World Records. Then
that's not a good record to have, yeah.
80 to 100 feet wide roads are all made one way. The basic principle of traffic clearance is to distribute traffic. Whereas in Bangalore, they accumulate traffic from various places.
Sir, I congratulate you for making those very valid points, and I'll take them to our guest as well. I'm afraid we have some more guests and callers calling us. Mr. Murlidhar from Bengaluru is also with us on the broadcast. Murlidhar ji, go ahead. What is the point you want to make?
Yeah. The issue of the Bangalore traffic is it is there for last many, many decades. There is no proper planning and no political party takes any proper decision in solving this issue. Added to that, this Kaveri issue is there for last 3-4 decades. And nobody is, especially parties from Karnataka, are not at all serious and they are playing games. And each party blames the other party about their failures. And the sufferers are only the Bangalore citizens. It is unfortunate that the other states, they have solved all their problems, but Karnataka has never solved this problem because of the shameless attitude of all the political parties, BJP, Congress, JDS, whoever it is. All are...
Well, till the time the funds are spent in the right way and manner, we won't have the cities that we dream and aspire for. Mr. B.S. Khanna from Panchkula is calling us. Mr. Khanna, what is the point you want to make?
I just want to say what is happening today in Bangalore. What will happen when the general election will come?
All right, Mr. Khanna, thank you so much for calling us. Thank you, callers, for joining us on the broadcast. You can call us. Our lines are open right now. I believe I have to go back to Mr. Nagaraju Yadav as well from the Congress party because all these questions are directed to the ruling party right now. But Mr. Shrikant Narasimhan, you were interrupted. You were making a point. Please go ahead. Finish your point. Mr. Narasimhan, can you hear me? All right, we'll take more callers. Mr. Rajaram from Bengaluru is with us. Rajaramji, tell us what you think.
Yeah, hi. So I wasn't there in the traffic yesterday, but I travel through that road almost thrice every week. While we speak about the traffic police and the parties responsible for the situation, a certain amount of responsibility needs to be attributed to the companies who are located on that road as well. They hardly promote any kind of usage of public transport within their organizations. There is no campaign, there is no email messages, there is no mass sessions that are conducted to encourage employees to use public transport. So I would all squarely put the onus on the companies as well who are located on that road. And if they start, I think things can slowly start transforming is what I would say.
That's a good suggestion to make. Thank you. Thank you for joining us on the broadcast. Sunil from Bengaluru is with us. Good evening, Sunil. Tell us what you think.
Yeah, I think the beyond politics and beyond each one can blame each other, but I've been in Bangalore since 1992 and I've seen the systematic deterioration. There's no proactive planning there's no concept of town planning or urban planning in Bangalore. These emerging areas, all that BBMP or the politics is interested in doing is building infrastructure out in terms of residential infrastructure or shopping complexes. While the roads are never given any importance to develop or even to widen up or even to plan the arterial road concept. I mean, that doesn't exist in Bangalore, unlike Hyderabad or unlike Delhi, etc. So that is the appalling situation of this place. And yeah, I know we grew very fast, but I'm sure planning could be a little better.
And isn't that the growth that this country aspires for, to be the $5 trillion economy? Thank you. Thank you, Sunilji, for joining us on the broadcast. I want to go back to Mr. G.S. Prasant. He is with us on the show. Mr. Prasant, unfortunately, we are not able to get a version from the Congress party. Srikanth Narasimhan is also with us, but to Mr. Prasant first. You made a very important point when you spoke about political responsibility. And there was the point coming from Mr. Narasimhan that policies cannot be without the politics of it. We have to see both of them together, and that's how they are implemented. Some callers have been making some very important and pertinent points. Say the number of speed breakers in Bengaluru. It is perhaps the highest in the world. There is no Guinness Book of World Record for that. But the manner in which the city has been planned, it's not ready for the kind of growth it has seen. Mr. Prasant.
See, definitely yes, because initially when Bangalore was planned, if you look at I have grown up listening to stories saying how Bangalore was very good in 70s. Because by the time my childhood in 80s, it was still good. And by the time we came of age and started attending college and get on to work and other things, we saw the development rising in Bangalore. Because in the last 3 decades, I can tell you how much Bangalore has grown from being a pensioner's paradise to the Silicon Valley of the country. It's tremendous change.
Yes.
So when the entire ethos of this city has changed in the last 4 decades, from being a pensioner's paradise to the Silicon Valley of the country and IT capital of the country, it requires a lot of planning, and it must come with a dedicated person, a minister who is presently in charge, the DCM. I again repeat, you cannot have water resources. He's failing farmers of Kaveri there, and you have Bangalore development. You also have other party work. You cannot do that. You need to have a dedicated minister for Bangalore who knows the in and out and provides solutions, talks with resident welfare associations.
And there is no dearth of bright brains in our country. Even in Bengaluru, whenever we have had those special conversations in the city, there are bright-minded citizens which can come together and offer solutions to their very own city. I'll go back to Mr. Narasimhan. Before that, we have Mr. Subramanian calling from Cochin. Mr. Subramanian, please go ahead. Make your point.
Yeah, good evening. Actually, the Bangalore city has grown exponentially, and we have seen that it has been growing ever since, and it is every day growing. The infrastructure also, some people are putting efforts. The governments have been, whoever has been there, has been putting efforts, but there is no focus actually, and there is no real study which has taken place, for which we are not in the dearth of people who are very knowledgeable or who knows their subjects. Like we have metro people, Metro Man, East Witherden, who has done wonders. So this is not because of that. It is because people are, the correct leaders or political will is not there. And this Kaveri problem, I don't know. Mr. Modi has been in power. I appreciate Mr. Modi. Actually, there is a lot of easy solving problem. Like you can put pipes right from the north, this one Ganga, to all the things, so that this water.
Well, interlinking of rivers in this country, Mr. Subramanian, has been a very controversial topic, and there is a big debate over it. But I appreciate the spirit in which you are making those suggestions. Venkatesh from Bengaluru is also with us on the broadcast. Venkatesh, good evening.
Good evening, madam. So, madam, after the lot of tensions from office, you are left out from officers. So, a lot of problem in facing in Bangalore. See, what the government is doing, I don't know. See, so a lot of fuel will be wasting, madam. So, signals are a lot of traffic jams nowadays. The government, what in Modi is visiting the Bangalore. They're giving the most instructions to the government to follow. Mr. Salim is inspecting the personality to the all Bangalore places and making some one ways to the blocking the some junction and making the traffic clear and unnecessary parking.
I understand the frustration that you must be going through as a person living in Bengaluru. Thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast. Before I take my next caller, I want to go back to Mr. Narasimhan. Mr. Narasimhan, what is it that the citizens can do? We will ask the questions to the government. It is their job, responsibility to create the right kind of infrastructure. That is why they collect taxes. That's what the state exchequer is for. But that being said, what is it that the companies can do? What is it that the citizens can do? Are there real important changes that can be made from these ends?
So yeah, am I audible now?
You're audible. Please go ahead.
Great. So I do indeed want to pose, first of all, two questions to both the BJP and the Congress representatives. The mess that we saw yesterday is not a making of the last few months. It's been in the works for many, many years. And as Mr. Prashant himself admitted, even BJP was in power for a few years. Two key issues. Number one, last year when there was a rain that came, the government, the BJP government of that time announced 1,500 crores towards drain infrastructure. Yesterday there was a small bout of rain and the traffic situation just came to a complete standstill. I want transparency and accountability for the 1,500 crores. Can they put out what happened to the 1,500 crores that was supposedly invested in drains, including, I think, almost 30 to 40% was promised for that Mahadevpura area where the traffic jam happened. The reality is, the money has either not been spent or has been siphoned off. That's question number one.
Sure.
Question number two, people, you said, what can citizens do? Citizens want to use public transport. But you tell me, where is the public transport infrastructure? Last mile connectivity.
Yeah, people can't create public infrastructure. Yeah.
Mr. Prashant himself talked about last mile connectivity. I stay in a place which is 1 kilometer away from a metro station. But where are the feeder buses? We've had 6,000 BMTC buses for years together. We have not had any additions to the fleet. There are no feeder buses.
And one of the ways, Mr. Narasimhan, Delhi was able to decongest itself was to build public infrastructure at a mass level, on a great scale, with great speed. And one can't imagine what the national capital would have looked like had we not had the Delhi metro constructed at the pace that it was constructed and the kind of burden it has taken off the roads. And that is why, comparatively speaking, Delhi has better traffic. But yes, we require those kind of steps in Bengaluru as well. I want to take a couple of more callers. Ajay Ram from Jammu is with us on the broadcast. Ajay ji, namaskar. बताइए आपको क्या कहना है?
Ma'am, I'll take you back to 91. I went to Bangalore and for NDA, SSB. I saw loads of migrants in Bangalore and the local people were, very sad faced. So this influx for jobs in Bangalore is the real problem. Same in Gujarat, same in Bombay. Thank you.
Thank you, Ajay ji. Thank you so much for calling us. Ramesh from Bengaluru with us on the show. Good evening, Ramesh.
Good evening to you and to all your viewers. See, I have 2 points. One is, we were discussing about the public transportation being a smart city. You see, this metro people, they kept the trains connectivity ready between KR Puram and Bayapnalli. If that was functional, most of the crowd would have used the metro and there would have not been any problem. But for what reasons they are putting it on hold since last 3 months, we don't know.
Right.
But yesterday they announced it was ready, but they could have thrown it open. What is there? Already Prime Minister inaugurated. What is the need for so many inaugurations? When we are suffering from road problem, Metro would have carried all the people. There would have been no problem on the BMTC or anybody. Secondly, regarding the Kaveri water, see this Congress and the DMK are together. What stops them from calling them to Karnataka and show them the reality?
Well, sir, the Kaveri water crisis is so complicated that even the Supreme Court could not settle it for good. It continues to haunt back states like Karnataka and Tamil Nadu, which have been at loggerheads, and despite that judgment, that problem continues to be there. I thank GS Prashant, Nagaraju Yadav and Shrikant Narsimhan. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast. A big thanks to our callers as well. Well, let's hope that Bengaluru, the IT capital of the country, gets better urban infrastructure. Till then, we'll keep talking about these stories. With that, it's a wrap on this edition of Viewpoint. Plain Speak follows.